In a move that raised eyebrows across the league, the Green Bay Packers have made a significant trade with the Philadelphia Eagles that could redefine their receiving core and impact their future strategies. The trade involves sending third-year wide receiver Dontavian Wicks to the Eagles in exchange for a pair of day 3 picks, a 5th-rounder in 2026 and a 6th-rounder in 2027. But what does this mean for both teams moving forward? And should Packers fans be feeling excited or uneasy about this decision? Let's break it down. For the Eagles, acquiring Wicks could be seen as a calculated gamble. He's a player who, much like many others in the NFL, experienced a dip in production as the talent around him grew. The Eagles are banking on Wicks' potential, but history tells us that not every player can rise to the occasion when given a new opportunity. Yes, he has the potential to be a game changer, but the question remains, will he be able to translate that potential into consistent production on the field? Now, looking at the Packers side of the equation, it's important to recognize the rationale behind this trade. The decision to part ways with Wicks, rather than allowing him to walk and potentially yield a compensatory pick in the future, signals a clear strategy. The Packers have always prided themselves on building through the draft, and trading Wicks now puts them in a better position for the future. With a clear hierarchy of pass catchers already in place, including promising talents like Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, and Savion Williams, they seem poised to solidify their receiving core for years to come. But let's not sugarcoat things. When you look at Wicks' performance in 2025, it's evident he wasn't trending in the right direction. Despite ranking 4th on the team in total snaps, his average targets per game dipped significantly as the season wore on. From a respectable 4.1 targets in the earlier months to a paltry 2.2 in December, his ability to make an impact was diminishing. His lone standout performance came against the Lions on Thanksgiving, where he nearly hit the century mark in receiving yards with Jayden Reed sidelined. Outside of that, he struggled to make a mark, averaging just over 18 yards per game across 14 appearances. Given that trajectory, it's hard to argue that holding on to him would have been worth the gamble. This trade allows the Packers to get something in return now rather than risk losing Wicks to free agency without compensation later. They have a clear vision ahead with the potential to draft a new star in the upcoming draft and possibly extend Jayden Reed, who has emerged as a reliable target. Moving Wicks now could very well be a proactive approach to avoid cluttering a depth chart that needs clarity. They are making space for future contributions rather than letting a player with declining stats linger. Evaluating this trade, I'd give the Packers an A-. In my opinion, they made a shrewd decision. They capitalized on a player who is likely to become a deeper reserve rather than a consistent starter. By trading Wicks, they've secured valuable assets while also clearing the way for a clearer receiver hierarchy. It's a move that speaks to both foresight and strategic planning, something we should all applaud as fans of this storied franchise. On the other side, the Eagles' acquisition of Wicks might come with its own set of questions. The trade initially sent ripples through the Eagles' fan base, conjuring fears that it signaled the beginning of the end for star receiver A.J. Brown. Brown, a top 5 wide receiver in the league, has had a tumultuous run in Philadelphia, filled with complaints about his usage and questionable performances at crucial moments, including a playoff game where he dropped critical passes. While some fans may see Wicks as a bridge to a future without Brown, the reality is far more complex. The Eagles have locked Wicks into a $12.5 million extension, indicating that he has a defined role in their plans moving forward. If this trade were merely about swapping players on expiring contracts, it might have earned a solid B grade. Wicks has experience with the Eagles' offensive system, which could help him integrate quickly. However, the fact that he's now tied to a respectable WR2 contract gives the Eagles much-needed flexibility. They can explore options in the draft, contemplate trading Brown, or even keep their current trio of receivers intact as they make another run at the Super Bowl. This kind of flexibility is invaluable in a league where every move can impact your championship window. As we look ahead, this trade is more than just a transaction. It's a reflection of the evolving landscape of both franchises. For the Packers, it's about crafting a future that prioritizes stability and development. For the Eagles, it's about maintaining momentum and flexibility in their pursuit of glory. The implications of this deal will undoubtedly ripple through the upcoming season, and as fans, we must stay tuned to see how these strategies unfold. Now, shifting gears, let's dive into another notable development that could shape the Packers' plans as we move closer to the season. In the wake of the NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers find themselves at a crossroads with tight end Luke Musgrave. As the 2026 draft looms, whispers of a potential trade for the former second-round pick have grown louder, and it raises a number of questions about the franchise's direction. Musgrave, who recorded a modest 24 receptions for 252 yards last season, may not have dazzled on the stat sheet, but the raw athletic potential he possesses is undeniable. It's a potential that has caught the eye of several teams around the league, making him an intriguing option for any franchise looking to bolster their tight end depth. However, the Packers' motivations for moving Musgrave seem rooted in a calculated business decision rather than a reflection of his talent. The crux of the issue lies in timing and contract status. As Musgrave enters the final year of his rookie contract, Green Bay faces the reality that they may lose him for nothing when free agency rolls around next spring. General Manager Brian Gutekunst's recent decision to let backup quarterback Malik Willis walk without an extension suggests a clear organizational philosophy. If a player isn't in the long-term plans, it's better to cash in on their value now rather than risk losing them for nothing. The emergence of Tucker Kraft, who has shown promise even while recovering from an ACL injury, has seemingly solidified the Packers' view of their tight end future. Kraft's rise places Musgrave in a precarious position, leaving the team with a tough choice. Keep Musgrave as an insurance policy while Kraft recuperates, or trade him to gain valuable draft capital that could be reinvested into the team. The Miami Dolphins appear to be the most logical suitor for Musgrave. With a roster undergoing significant changes, including the recent departures of stars like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Miami is in need of reliable targets for their quarterback, Malik Willis. Musgrave, with his combination of size and speed, would provide an immediate upgrade over existing options like Greg Dulcich, making him a particularly attractive target for a team in transition. The connection between the coaching staff and Musgrave only enhances the likelihood of this potential trade. However, if the Dolphins pass, there are other franchises eager to bolster their tight end depth. The Dallas Cowboys have a history of trading with Green Bay, and while they have secured Jake Ferguson, there's still a need for depth behind him. Musgrave could serve as a high-upside developmental piece who could thrive in Dallas's offensive scheme. Similarly, the Baltimore Ravens find themselves in a tight end quandary following the departure of Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews remains a star, but he needs a capable running mate to keep opposing defenses honest. Musgrave could fit the bill perfectly, providing a fresh start alongside Lamar Jackson in a dynamic offense. Finally, the Denver Broncos are also a potential landing spot, with veteran Evan Engram struggling and a young quarterback in Bo Nix needing a safety blanket. Musgrave could find himself in a battle for the starting role, providing a much-needed boost to their passing game. As the Packers weigh their options in the coming weeks, the decision on Musgrave will be pivotal. Do they hang on to him as insurance while Kraft heals? Or do they leverage his potential trade value for a future return? It's a classic dilemma of the NFL, balancing immediate needs against future potential. This trade talk isn't just about Musgrave. It's a reflection of the broader strategy the Packers are adopting as they look to retool and rebuild. The decisions made in the coming days could shape the franchise for years to come. Fans should keep a close eye on the trade wire as the draft approaches because what unfolds could redefine the Packers roster and their path forward. As we wrap up this discussion, it's clear that the stakes are high for the Green Bay Packers. The choices they make will not only impact their immediate future, but will also resonate long after the draft concludes. What are your thoughts on Musgrave's potential departure? Will he thrive elsewhere, or should the Packers hold on to him? We want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and share your opinions about the Green Bay Packers in the comments.